The 12 tribes we got next and demand respect. Coming with a sword cause it's war on Amalek.
Get the strap.
Hey, fuck Joe Biden, man.
Right.
I hate Joe Biden.
Right. And the white man.
And the white man.
Okay.
Hey, the white man hate me too, though.
All of them?
Overwhelmingly vast majority. See? So I just gotta play it safe, man. That's just like if you're in hostile territory and yeah, come talk to us. Come talk to us. That's just like if you're in hostile territory, right?
Okay.
And let's say 15% of the civilians are actually practicing in guerrilla warfare. Now, of course, you're not just gonna go around shooting everybody, but you have to take everything as a threat because you know a certain percentage of the civilians are actually intending to kill you. So I understand that there are certain good white, I'm not gonna say good, I would say I'll understand that there are certain neutral white people. However, I also understand that there are a certain amount of white people that hate my guts, and I don't blame them. Self-preservation is key. So with that being said, I have to be on my toes and take all of you guys as if you are a threat and you are my enemy, right? You believe in the Bible?
Yes, I am a Christian.
Okay. Does the Bible say that the children of God? Okay, so we are the Israelites, right? We are the Hebrews of the Bible.
Okay.
And the Bible says that the white race will be our enemy, right? And if you look at history, it has played out accordingly. So I would be remiss to act as if it's anything other than it's not. Do you feel like you're my enemy? Why not? Is our relationship historically good or bad?
How far back historically?
In general, ever since
I like your. Oh shit! Really? We gonna go there?
Specific answer. Ever since you guys first rose into power under the Greek and Roman Empire, right? It's been bad, right? When you look at the second of 70 AD, or when you look at the practices the Greeks did once you guys conquered the Persians, you have always waged war against the children of God. So in today's society, you don't have to do it as much because you won the war and the battle, right? You got everything. So we can't necessarily wage war against you guys, but all we can do is come out and teach our people the truth that you guys are our enemies, right? So how you feel about that?
I'm gonna find it. By your statement alone, there is no chance for peace.
No, we tried peace.
Okay. So if there's no peace, if there can never be any peace between mankind in general, okay, then it's like you want to keep a war going on.
Well, we have no choice but to be engaged in that war because being docile never conquers anything. So the only way, now we're not fighting a literal war, it's a spiritual, right? So yeah, we must partake in that war because there must be victors and we don't want to be losers forever. We've been losers for the last 2,000 years. But our commander is Christ. So we're waiting for Christ to return so he can command us on how to properly and successfully win the war.
Sure. But yeah, you have the Star of David.
What was that?
You have the Star of David.
With hate?
The Star of David.
Oh, it's not a star, it's a lily. A star is a ball of gas in the atmosphere.
But to my understanding, that represents the Star of David.
Yeah, that's a misconception. It represents God's favorite flower, which is a lily.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
If you ever look at a lily when it blossoms, it forms 6 points, and it's God's favorite flower. So it's not a star at all. It's actually a lily, right? So, and we wear these because we are the Israelites of the Bible.
That's right.
Have you ever heard that before? Blacks in America are the real Jews. You know,
I've seen people of your denomination on YouTube in New York
about race.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, we all out in the streets throughout the nation. The Bible says in the last days we will bethink ourselves. We will bethink ourselves, meaning we will inquire on who we are. Because black is not a nationality, right? Mexican, Puerto Rican, right? That's not a nationality. Puerto Rico, what does Puerto Rico mean?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. What does that literally mean? Rich port. Is a rich port a race? Is this a name that your oppressors gave you? Black is not a race. African American.
Puerto Rico's part of America.
Who does America belong to?
Belongs to the people.
Who's the people?
We are.
Since when? Who did it belong to before 1776?
Bring that up.
I mean, the people that were already here. I mean, I already know which way you're going with
So
this.
who does it belong to?
But, I mean, we're an established government.
Well, just because you establish a government doesn't necessarily mean that it's your land, right?
I would think so.
Europeans established somewhat a government in South Africa. Is it their land? No, it's not. It's just you just happen to establish a government on somebody else's land. It doesn't make it yours. You can say it's yours.
Okay, so in order for me to own land, I would have to go back to Germany.
In order for you to possess a land, it must be the one you inherited pertaining to Genesis 10, right? Genesis 10. God gave. Give me Acts 17 and 26. This would determine your land.
So 17 and 26.
17 and 26.
Let's look at Acts chapter 17 and verse 26. And have made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth.
He made of one blood all nations of men to dwell on the faces of the earth. Go ahead.
And have determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation.
God has determined the bounds of everybody's habitation. God said, you get this, you get that, you get this, you get that. And that's that. Just because you leave out of that bounds and you take another person's land, that doesn't make it yours, right? And in a deeper aspect, the whole world belongs to us, the Israelites anyway. Right? So your land would be Mount Seir, right? I believe it's southeast of Israel.
Yes.
Petra, right? Petra the caves, right? Which is why when you guys left out of there, you eventually migrated up into the Caucasus Mountains. So your land would be the caves. Our land primarily would be Israel, then the Americas, and then the rest of the world, because the world was made for conversation, right? But that's just going back to the point of this not really being your land, right? Like America's not your land, Australia's not your land. Australia belongs to the Tasmanians, right? South Africa belongs to Africans. Europe belongs to the children of Japheth, if you look historically, who you know is the Samoans, etc., right? So your land would be, I believe it's southeast of Israel in the caves, which you know is Petra, or what's another capital? Uz, the land of Uz. That's your land, right? And there's gonna be a heavenly judgment for taking this land, right? Give me Numbers 35 and 33. Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't understand. See, today everybody thinks that they can just do what they want and there's no repercussions for anything, but that's not the way God behaves. Right? Go ahead.
This book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are. For blood, it defileth the land.
When you spill blood, God makes the land unclean to God. Go ahead.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood.
And the land cannot be clean. Go ahead.
That is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
The land cannot be clean except the person who did the killing is killed, right? Now you guys aren't your father, so you didn't necessarily do the killing. Give me Exodus 34:7. However, the Lord lays up your judgment for a latter time because you are your fathers just in a past life. Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 34 and verse 7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgressions and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty,
And he's not going to clear the guilty that spilled the blood and defiled this land. Go ahead.
visiting the iniquity of the fathers
Visiting your iniquity done by your fathers
upon the children,
upon the children of your fathers,
and upon the children's children, upon the third and to the fourth generation.
even to the third and fourth generation. So even though you're not directly responsible for those actions, you inherit the justice that will be served for those actions. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
And also, your blood of your forefathers is in you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
blood is going to cleanse that
exactly.
land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm German-Hungarian, and a lot of people don't understand. It was Attila the Hun that broke away from the Mongolians, and he traveled eastward. Our technology our selling point was, we were a band of mercenaries about 200,000 strong, and what we had the technology to do was train our warriors to ride on horseback. Imagine on horseback, draw a bow and arrow, and put arrows on target downrange.
That's right.
And we actually set the very first northern border of Italy because the last emperor of Rome did business with us. And we said, okay, we did what you asked, now pay up. He goes, no. So we blocked him off from the rest of his empire. And he came to us and said, hey, look, I'll give you half the gold. I got land in the northwest. Y'all take it. That's where you get modern day Hungary from. But the grandson of Attila the Hun conquered India. And he had asked him, grandson, what religion are you going to make these people? He said, I'll make them any religion they want. That's one of the reasons that India has all the different religions.
Okay. I believe the Apache was also glorified for learning to ride the horse and become horse-like. Horse. What do you think about the impending World War III?
Impending World War III, I hope it doesn't happen.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I don't.
No, we don't have no camera.
I don't watch the evening.
You can meet me somewhere.
As far as what's going on in Ukraine, as far as I know of, it's like a stalemate right now. It's kind of like World War I and the trench war. We're just gonna stand there and stare at each other.
Who do you think was right when it comes to Russia and Ukraine?
I don't know. I don't know what side. Honestly, I'm on the fence. Personally, I'm on the fence because Putin, in my opinion, went across that line for a reason.
Of course he did.
I don't know what that reason is.
The reason was because Ukraine was threatening to join the UN and it was bordering
NATO.
Russia's territory. NATO.
NATO, yeah.
And NATO was bordering Russia's territory, which is offensive because why would I want you putting nukes in my backyard? That doesn't make sense.
But also, too, when they were talking about the war, some of the very first artillery strikes that Putin did was on U.S. Third part. How was it worded? On Department of Defense contractors that did bio-war germ warfare stuff, and that. So, did he go over here to stop another COVID?
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's undisclosed information. I can't
Yeah.
say for sure. But you have that, right? You have, America's involved in that because we've sent, you guys have sent billions of dollars in aid to you.
No. Biden and his cronies
I forgot the sign.
Don't get me started.
What you think about China and Taiwan? You know, America has an oath to help Taiwan if China invades them.
Yeah. As far as that, I think what they're doing is they're going by and they're turning our head to look at something else.
Right.
Oh, China's threatening to invade Taiwan for the 800th time this year.
Right.
Who cares?
I've even heard that Russia staged that incident with Ukraine to get America to deplete its ammunition source. Because for certain missiles, it takes about 6 to 8 months to restock them.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't Amazon this.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just overnight and say, "Oh, I made more."
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
So I've heard that Ukraine and Russia actually staged that just to deplete America's ammunition.
And it's not only that, even on the Russian side, like their new badass tank isn't that badass.
Yeah.
And another thing too, everything Russia had sent over there was like their version of the National Guard. Nothing against the National Guard, but they were sending them in there with equipment that we haven't seen since the Cold War in the 80s.
It's hard to even resupply it because it's not even making that type of ammunition. But I've also, but you know, Russia is making more so nuclear weapons. That's where they're putting their money in.
Devil back.
You came back. I thought you lied to me.
I got
man.
5 minutes to hear some Bible, baby.
You want to hear some Bible?
Yeah, man. Read it like a Hebrew Israelite.
What's your nationality?
Man, I actually don't know. I'm a couple different things.
Like what? What's your father?
What's your nationality?
I'm an Israelite. You just said it. I'm an Israelite.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You want to hear how we gonna enslave everybody? in the
Yeah.
kingdom of heaven?
No, absolutely.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just safety precautions.
Go ahead,
Safety
go ahead,
precautions.
go ahead.
All right, let's hear about the Israelites enslaving the world, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.